The sad thing is that I call a place to donate the records, and they're like, we'll accept your donation only on one condition. It's like, you know what? Fuck you, then. I'm not giving you the records.
The LPs.
I could put those things out on the corner, and I'd know they went to a better home. I should put them out there and just have, like, kids will come by, 20-year-olds, and flip through them and see what they can find.
During the pandemic, some guy was selling vinyl off his tailgate.
But they were good albums. Those are like, 60s jazz, obscure, like.
So here we are in Lightweights. I'm Phil.
Oh, I'm Rosemary.
And I think we're recording. That's good news. Yeah. Liz Cheney. Boy, they gave her the shaft, huh?
Did they, though? She might be a little more powerful now.
Oh, you're going the Star Wars reference.
Well, I think she is. All of a sudden, she's been thrust into the limelight. Before, she was just kind of this like afterthought person.
And she's
just a representative of a small state. She doesn't do much or whatever, And now it's like, oh, Liz Cheney. Liz Cheney's a hero. She's standing up for the truth.
And she's a Cheney.
Yeah.
So she's got a little,
sorry about that.
A little cred on the back end.
Well, and I got into it with someone on Twitter.
Let's be honest though. I don't stand for anything. I don't agree with anything she stands for other than the truth. I guess we could say that. She's standing for the truth, right?
Yeah. And like you're always saying, if we can't agree on the truth, then we've got problems. We can't.
Yeah, you can't make a deal with somebody if they're not truthful.
Right. That's true.
Ironically. Ding, ding. Ding, 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 ding.
So anyway.
So what do you want to talk about? We got Liz Cheney. What else we got going? We've got
people on Capitol Hill telling us not to believe things we see with our own eyes.
We got the January 6th insurrection.
Yeah, telling us that that what we see isn't real.
Right.
That's infuriating.
What else do we got? What's hot right now? What is today? May 14th?
No, is it really? Okay, May 14th.
I don't know.
It is May. No, it's the 13th.
Okay, May 13th.
It's the 13th. Yeah.
Yeah, we've got, they're talking stimulus, or not stimulus, but infrastructure again.
Okay.
And the Senate's taken up the voting rights bill. We've got that going.
Yeah, we need that.
Yeah, so take your pick. What do you want?
I want to talk about people on Capitol Hill telling us that the insurrection was a peaceful tourist attraction.
Tell me about it.
I mean, that's nuts.
Right. So what you're talking about, I think there's the hearing in the House where they're kind of a hearing on the events of January 6th, we'll call it that. And they're, basically taking testimony on where they were at, what they were doing, and what happened. So with that, what's the latest? Because I didn't catch any of it.
I don't know. Just yesterday and on Morning Joe today, they showed clips of House representatives saying that, I can't remember which one it was. I'm sorry, I don't have his name. But, saying that when you look at video of the quote-unquote insurrection, it wasn't an insurrection, and that people walking through are staying behind the ropes and photographing things looking like a tourist. And if you didn't know it was January 6th, you would just think it was a regular tour through the Capitol. What
about the video of them beating people to death?
Exactly. So that's what they showed on Morning Joe. They said, what about this is some body cam footage from that officer. I can't remember how to say his name. Is it Fagoni? Okay. He was wrestled to the ground by a bunch of insurrectionist people, begging for his life. Don't hurt me. I have kids. He's really upset.
He should be.
And
there's definitely a movement right now to dilute what really happened or to whitewash it. Pick your cliche.
These people have post-traumatic stress disorder over this, and I don't blame them. If you are attacked by an angry mob, don't know if you're going to live through it, how do you go out into the world after that? I mean, are you afraid you're going to be attacked by an angry mob all the time? Especially if you're suddenly thrust into the public eye.
Well,
they used to just be Capitol officers. Now they're like these public people that you either agree with or don't agree with, and people are mad at you, or they're, you know what I mean?
I know, that's the weird part, because on a normal, if you're a Capitol Police officer, it's not a war zone. Typically, you're just going into, you're getting your coffee in the morning, you're going into work, you check the congressman coming in, you're just keeping an eye on stuff. I mean, the Capitol Police assigned to the Capitol police the Capitol. And the Capitol is not like a hotbed of crime or drug abuse or anything else. Well, you
certainly wouldn't expect it to be from your own citizens.
Right. But I mean, it's a workplace. It's not
right.
It's not some, in other words, I would think policing Disneyland would be more difficult and more dangerous than policing the Capitol.
You know what? I think the security people from Disneyland need to go work over the Capitol because Disneyland has so many cameras and back doors and all that stuff.
Oh, yeah.
I feel safer than safe at Disneyland. I know nothing ain't going to happen. If my child's lost, I know that someone knows where he is.
These poor kids can't even make out on Pirates of the Caribbean anymore.
Oh, did that happen? No.
Come, Roan. It's Pirates of the Caribbean. A lot things go down on Pirates of the Caribbean, and they have infrared cameras on there.
Oh, God, don't say that. Do they really? I love Pirates of the Caribbean. Do you know I've actually dined in that restaurant, the Blue Bayou? It's hard to get a reservation there.
I did not know that.
I did. I ate there for my 11th birthday.
Wow.
My aunt took us there.
So, yeah, and so to double back on what that congressman said, these weren't tourist videos of Disneyland. Of people going waving their Trump flags around. And the hilarious thing.
But I think the thing that's the most infuriating is that when you look at the attack on the Capitol and you look at these people who were told by the former guy that they needed to go and do this, he threw those people under the bus.
Oh, yeah.
They're going to jail now. The FBI is looking for all these people.
He's like, let's go.
And to say that you don't believe that it actually happened, they themselves videotaped it, and they themselves put the videos up on Facebook and Instagram. So these theories that it was actually somebody else, or it was Black Lives Matter people, or, I mean, it's just, you really, it doesn't work out. I mean, I don't know where they get off trying to tell people this bullshit.
Right.
It's like infuriating, you know?
What's funny is you'll look at Joe, let's just use Joe Schmo MAGA guy as an example. Here's just, and I'm just going to totally stereotype and generalize, but you've got somebody posting on social media for 3 or 4 years of how great somebody is, right? We know this person. We see them out campaigning for the former guy. And then here they are taking selfies at the Capitol, sitting at Pelosi's desk or whatever. And then we're supposed to believe that that's the Antifa guy who's got a social media history as long as your arm of supporting, the president.
I know. And is known on social media as being a big Trump supporter.
Right.
And how about the lady with the flower shop who was beaming with pride because she says, well, we broke into, we didn't hurt anything in Nancy Pelosi's office. Well, we tore the nameplate off and we just ruined everything and threw everything around and somebody grabbed her laptop. On Instagram, she posted this. And then they have the nerve to be surprised.
Well, that's what's
when
awesome.
The FBI knocks on their door.
That's the awesome part. Is they thought
they were doing something to save the country.
These fucking morons. Somebody sells T-shirts on Twitter that say Democrat because I'm not a fucking moron. But these morons who thought they were going to storm the Capitol and then Trump was going to come out and wave a magic wand or something, and everybody would be, all law breaking would be forgiven or something.
That's how disconnected from reality it is. In order to believe half of the stuff he's telling you, vaccines are dangerous, vaccines are unsafe. Okay, we've been getting vaccines,
Now they're saying voting's unsafe. Right? That's the latest. Voting's unsafe. You don't know who's voting, or people are voting and we don't know who they are.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm speechless.
They're undermining and this is what you get. And I'll show my Democratic bona fides, but this is what you get after 25 years of undermining institutions. Democrats do it too. But when you undermine and tell everybody, don't trust this, don't trust that, don't believe this, don't believe that. I think car dealers got a lot to blame for that too.
Huh? Okay.
They try to sucker everybody.
Well, yeah.
Well, you were talking about how 70% of Republicans believe that the election was stolen, right?
Right.
And then I threw the old analogy back to 2001 which was 70% of Republicans. And I'm generalizing, so don't hold me exactly to it.
We just sit down and start talking. We don't have like actual figures in front of us or anything like that.
That's when we're lightweights. So 70% of Republicans thought that Saddam Hussein attacked the World Trade Center.
That's right.
So I'm wondering if 70% of the Republican Party are just suckers.
There's a video out there of some kind of Joe Dirt looking guy saying, I don't know where Obama was on 9/11, but he really screwed that up. And the guy...
Come on.
No, I'm serious. And the guy who's interviewing says, it keeps asking him more questions about it. I'd really like to get to the bottom of it, says Joe Dirt guy.
Well, and that's the thing. You got to end everything with a question mark.
But you know what? It's like you've always said before.
Like you started the show, you threw
that
that question mark thing at me. I hate that.
Yeah. People only have a certain amount of mental energy to devote to politics, and it starts getting complicated. And the Republicans know that if we say something and we throw it out there, by the time it's corrected, it's too late. Everybody believes it. So Kevin McCarthy said yesterday that the election isn't in dispute. Nobody's disputing whether or not the election was stolen.
That's all they do every day.
The day before.
That's all they do every
day. He was saying it the day before. I mean, so now someone's going to see that little sound bite and say, oh, Kevin McCarthy's cool. He's not,
But then Fox Media will only run the one clip, right?
Yeah. They're like, oh, we're changing the message now.
Right.
So we better.
So we've got Kevin McCarthy saying one of everything.
So we can pick and choose for whatever we want when we need it.
He can say, this one, infrastructure is good, and we've got this one that says infrastructure is bad, so we can use whatever we need to fit our narrative.
Yeah. Well, and to go back to Liz Cheney, I feel like she's, I don't agree with her, and I'm not.
Well, she is a Cheney.
Yeah, I'm not much of a fan of hers, but I admire her for sticking her neck out, and it looks like what she's trying to do, and I'm no expert, but is stand up and identify herself, because people are so afraid to speak the truth. So now she's this figure that says, if you want
she was pretty obscure before.
Yeah. But now there's a person that you can put with, like, we can call it a truth movement or something, like anti-big lie movement.
Right.
So you can go over and next to Liz Cheney and say, you know what? I'm not going to perpetuate this bullshit anymore. I'm on Liz's side. So now there's somewhere that you can go, and it doesn't hurt that she's got the, legacy breeding of being Dick Cheney's daughter and all that stuff. So she's saying, I'm sticking with traditional conservative values, which are
the principles of small government
and blah, 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 blah. Things that don't work. But anyway.
Republican principles.
But whatever. So she can do that. And now people who don't want to, in Congress who don't want to keep bullshitting or who are afraid to speak out the truth have somewhere to go and identify with. And so I had said that she's going to...
They can coalesce, right?
If they can break through these lies... then she will be seen as a hero, because she'll be seen as like this truth-seeking hero who's standing up for the truth. And people on Twitter are like, she's not going to be relevant because she's not going to get reelected now. Well, I think you underestimate how many people are dedicated to Trump, because they themselves did that poll that said that Trump wasn't as popular in their party.
You're not supposed to talk about that poll. If you're a Republican.
Right?
Yeah, it's a secret.
So they hid the results because they didn't want people to see.
Trump's hurting them.
That Trump is hurting them. And so Liz is smart.
With moderate Republicans and independents, he's hurting them.
Yeah.
They're doing worse being MAGA than they would be otherwise.
I think a lot of people have had it.
And they buried the polling data on that because, he might put a little thing out on his blog saying, Rosemary, you're, the worst person ever. You're a disaster.
That would be like one of those Twitter trophy things where someone who you hate blocks you. People go, look at what I got. They're so happy to be blocked by some jerk.
Well, I was really pleased with the Obama presidency. I know a lot of people wanted him to be a lot more liberal. But I was really pleased with the Obama presidency. I thought he did a great job. But I would have been okay with Romney, because I know that the country's not going to go to total shit, and he's not going to yank the wheel one way or the other.
Well, Romney,
he's a good man too.
He seems more moderate.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
But he's grounded. He's like a decent guy.
Does he get to live in Utah? Utah's so stunning, man. I love it.
Yeah,
there.
he gets there.